Hi, everybody. How are you? This is our first YouTube and Google Hangout show, and we're really excited to do that. So we've had technical difficulties, and we're a little tiny bit minutes late in starting, and we're figuring it all out. And one of the things that we did not do is to let our fans know that they need to go to Google Hangouts to be able to comment and post. But some are going to be coming in, and we're still waiting for a special guest to come in today and talk to us. And so we'll get to that a little bit later. And so we're just going to check right now, make sure we're live on. Yes, we are. We are live on YouTube right now. I'm excited. How about you guys? Hey, Jackie.
I'm excited too. I am also watching the video at the same time we're recording to see.
Are we out of sync though?
No. We're definitely not. We're good. I mean, we're a few seconds behind, but that's the broadcasting.
Right. You're our expert in that. We're so glad and blessed to have you. Hey, Andy, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, we've had quite a week, haven't we, Andy?
Yeah, we have.
We even had some weird stuff happen. Oh, Jackie, I don't think you know this. One of the things was I was talking to Andy on what we were in Be Live TV, I think, and we were talking together, and I brought up a video, and I had just said like a sentence, and the video went live, and the same thing that came out of my mouth was on that old video and I spoke it. We're just like looking at each other like, wow, that was so strange. That was so weird. But those coincidences always happen. It's just like amazing. We're like, we're gonna find out someday, probably when we're dead, that like everything is connected so closely that we didn't really realize. So what was the other thing that happened that was weird? Do you remember?
Yeah, you mentioned Subway coupons, and I had something to do with your past and also my past with relationships. And it was strange how you said that. I'm like, that's how I got roped into my relationship, was a free Subway coupon.
Yes, free Subway card. I had a guy. Well, I might as well tell. We got some time just to tell the little story. So I walked into this business when I was much younger, and this man went a little crazy, and he seemed to really like me. Lots happened. I wasn't interested, but he was, giving me my money back for the food and all this stuff. So anyway, I walked out of there. I was done. That was scary. Well, years went by, and I happened to be in a parking lot going into a hairdresser to have my hair braided. And I heard a man yelling, "Miss, Miss." And I turned around, and it was the same guy, even though my hair color was completely different than it is now. He started chasing me to give me free coupons for Subway. And I ran in there, but I go, wait a minute, this is the same guy from years ago in a different town, and he's chasing me. So you wonder, like, we must have had a past life thing. He recognizes me, but I don't recognize him. Something like that, because I was like, this was scary when I went into his business the first time. And how he was very aggressive, and then this time chasing me through a parking lot. So but just funny, I was telling the story about, here he was, because he owned a lot of businesses, and he was chasing me with the Subway coupons. And then Andy tells me that that's how he got a relationship, was being offered the Subway coupons too.
Yep, that's true.
It's just so strange, that we're talking about it, and all of a sudden we're like, hey, that's so weird. So Well, let me talk to everybody about what we thought that Wednesday shows would be on YouTube. Is we are the Psychic Life, and Andy and I have some extraordinary experiences when we do mediumship and our psychic events and all the little things that we're into. And we thought it'd be fun for you guys to watch, or very interesting for you guys to watch what we do and how we work. So Friday, we have a show on our fan page, Psychic Fixes, on Facebook. And it's a lot of fun, isn't it, guys?
Lots of fun.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We do readings for people. We give out prizes, and we crack up a lot and laugh. We answer questions, and we tell what we've been up to. Well, we thought on this one, what we're going to strive to do is to have some guests on, and also talk about the projects that we're working on. Now, next Friday, we do have a person who has an extraordinary past life experience coming on to tell us her experience. And her name is Daphne. And so that's going to be super great. You won't want to miss that on the fan page. Tonight, we're still waiting for someone from the group, The Dead Talk. And she's a paranormal investigator and a really great medium. I've seen her work many times. And we're hoping that she can make it tonight. But nonetheless, these talented crew here, we're going to entertain you. We do have some viewer questions that we'll answer in a little bit. But how we're probably going to start out the shows are talking like a round table between the mediums and Jackie too. She can chime in on kind of what we're up to and what's the extraordinary things happening right now, you know, in our business. For me, I don't know if you can see the back. Me pan over there. Yeah, you can see the back. So I have a big whiteboard here when I work on missing persons, which I do have one right now. And I've got to probably reach out to Andy. I'll probably reach out to you to find out. We have a young man that went missing, and I've got to get my maps. Got to have it done by Saturday. And it could be a suicide or a murder. And I do need to get connected to this and start finding out what happened. I actually want to see this time if I can find him, whether it's a body or alive. He has been gone for, I believe it's a year. So I'll probably need some help with that. It's kind of a very interesting case. When I get one that's farther out, then I can get actual there's evidence and stuff like that that's been given to me that I can look at. So what I'm going to do is discern if he is dead or alive. I'm going to, he is a year out, so it's down on the priority than other cases I may have. And I have to get maps. So I want to get this done, and I'm going to start working on it. I probably don't have any time tonight to work a little bit on it in front of you guys, but it's really interesting to do this. And I've just been really blessed that when I've done these cases, they really come out as being valid, you know, validating the information that I get. A lot of things like I got this one that said a little boy was missing, and I could see who did it and also where the little boy was. In this instance, I said the little boy's in the water, where they were thinking, oh, here and there and everything. I said, no, he's still in the water. You guys will find him. And I told them who did it. And lo and behold, the next day, unfortunately, he was found in the water and he had passed away. And yes, the person that I named did it. So, you know, I help as much as I can. Please know that I only work with family or search and rescue. And I don't work with police or anybody else because other people aren't effective in helping with the case. and the police tend to have their own way of, looking for people. And I am totally on their page that they go with their methods. But anyway, if it's a homicide, I can look at suspects and all kinds of things. Right now, I only have this main young man. Not that there's other ones out there, but this is the last one that I accepted to do, because I don't know about you right now, Andy, but business is busy. Readings are off the chart here, and it's hard to keep up. I don't know. We are starting so many ventures now on top of it with doing 2 shows now. That keeps us pretty hopping, just doing that. Just like tonight. We're learning though, guys. We are learning, right? And Jackie's going to help us.
We'll be professionals
We
soon.
will. Yeah. We're
going to get it down.
Be so flawless. Andy, what are you working on? Just readings, or a while back you were going to clear a house. I was afraid for you. I don't know if you know that. I was afraid for you on that one.
Yeah, I was approached by one of my graduating classmates in mediumship last year, but he reached out to me. He had a client that needed some help. They brought a priest in. They brought in somebody else to do some saging and smudging of the house, and this client had sent me pictures, and I haven't done a lot of clearing like that before. I mean, some of the pictures looked, I was just getting kind of bad vibes from it. So I did reach out to you, Debbie, and had you take a look too.
Did you, is this the one that had the big mirror in it?
Right.
This is like, get rid of that.
The mirror, and then there was going to be so much work involved. So we ended up having another classmate who's a Wiccan trained priest, and he went in and did some clearing, and as far as I know, it's going fine. But
great.
Yeah. So always open to other ways of clearing and cleansing. In this kind of work, you have to be, I feel, as long as it's positive.
I bought you some sulfur, some brimstone.
Oh, right.
Okay, and I'll get that shipped out. As soon as I get it, I'll ship that out to you. I had to get some mugwort for someone else and shipping that up to Oregon. Yeah, so the sulfur, if you have a client that really has something really, in the bigger things like we have in our new book, the bigger dark stuff,
right.
Or maybe even a demon, they need to sprinkle that around their bed so they can at least try to sleep. Those people are really lucky, because I really felt they needed to declutter a lot. Mm-hmm. And usually when you have something you need to keep upwards every week, you need to clear that house and keep it clear. So they're lucky, which I'm really glad. This last case that I went on, where I was asked about, I just refused it. Said if they're not going to get out all those antiques, and I could see in mediumship, two gold mirrors came at me, and I was like, if they don't get rid of those portals and stuff, those mirrors, and really clear that house out, it's just not going to work. It's like a Band-Aid, maybe it's going to be good for a week or maybe 2 weeks, but I know that they have not only a demon, but they have, I really feel like it's a really, really superior Gumby in there, we call them. And you guys will find out what Gumbies are from our new book coming out, or we'll explain it sometime. But I feel like there's this big shadow thing in there that's really doing the damage. And of course, the demon's going to give everything orders and direction. So I said, everybody's sick in that house. And I said, gee, I'm not taking my team in there, to do that. Do you think, Andy, that you're going to kind of get into clearing houses more?
I feel I feel like I need more experience with it, and I've learned so much with you on that because you've done this for quite some time, and I've never actually worked with other individuals in clearing a home. I've done simple clearings, nothing with like a lot of entities, anything way over my head. So that's somewhat one of my paths, but I think my calling is missing people, and I don't have an experience in that. However,
You
I
know
find
somebody. You know
I know I
somebody.
know somebody, and I'm talking to her right now. Yeah.
Well, we've
So
got to either be doing some like Skyping, or you got to come here when I have a good case. I can actually, within a couple of days, have the solution to what's going on. The last one I did, I had, I just did that, a month or so ago. I had 3 missing people. So I had a huge poster up that was connecting all the dots like you'd see on CSI or I don't know. I've never watched those things. But I had all these lines to connect people so that I could keep it straight. And then I'm reading all the people and came out to conclusion, that I did felt there was a possibility they could find one of the people that were missing, and where. And so, yeah, we need to like be together or really totally Skype over a few days when we get something in. Right now, I'm so busy. I'm really afraid. I don't know about you guys, but look at the missing people that just come up on your Facebook feed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And it's so scary to,
Debbie,
I don't know what's going on.
a friend of mine, it's funny you just said that because a friend of mine just messaged me on Facebook, and she said, I need you to call me right now. Well, it's 10:30 at night and I'm work in the morning. I said, I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I guess I think it was a little girl that went missing in Montana here. But then it got me to thinking. She messaged me in the morning and said that they found her. So I'm wondering how quick, like, I'd like to know your thoughts on this. When people reach out to you, how long do you wait for, if they're found within 24 hours, do you wait? I mean,
To
I've
work
had people,
on it?
yeah, like,
No, because if it is an emergency and they considered a person at risk or in danger, you want to find them right away. And the first time I ever found anybody, he had been missing for 3 days and he was an Alzheimer's patient. And so I wanted to make sure I found him. So I sat down and within an hour, I gave the crossroads to his wife of where he was. And that sad ending was that the search and rescue went there 5 times but didn't get out of their vehicle. So he was found right in a ditch at the sign that I gave, the crossing road signs. Passed away a week later. And that was so sad. I really still think I should have gotten in my car and drove up to where I don't know this is and went to that sign and really looked. But that was sad. But nonetheless, if they would have gotten out of their car, or somebody would have went there right away, they would have found him alive. I saw him dying on Friday and dead on Saturday. So that's probably in the time period when they found him, and they probably knew that. The reason that they found him, and I know it's gruesome, but I deal with this all the time, is that the smell that neighbors smelled and the animal activity. So he probably had died that weekend before. So it was sad. But there was an urgency to find him. So yes, right away, because you want to know what's going on. Are they alive? You can discern. You can see who's involved. How many people are involved? Are they male? Are they female? Is it so dangerous that that person's going to be in trouble in on a certain day and things like that? So yeah, right away. But Andy, when they've been gone years, and stuff, then you can take your time on that one.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but Andy, if you in the case of that little girl, you would have tuned in and said, "Oh, she's going to be fine. She's going to be found, so we're okay." Right. So the other side, when we're working with the other side, they're going to give you that information, so you would know what okay, it's fine. I think he's going to be found. So I do that once in a while. I get that, but I don't know why. I get a lot of old cases now. And I know that the family really, Jackie, you can understand, like, they really can't get closure.
Yeah. And
they,
I think
they have to know.
And I think that's why a lot of families do reach out to, mediums and psychics and do the readings and stuff like that. It's because they want an answer. They want to know that, one, that their loved ones, have crossed over, if they're earthbound still, or, if they're okay, or how they've passed away, and just have that closure of knowing, what was their state of mind maybe. So that's the one thing that I'm sure all people in the world that can have somebody like you or Andy help them is so grateful for you guys to be there.
Well, I think that the one thing as being a parent is that they really actually want their body. They want to know, are they alive? And if not, they literally want their bones. They want their body so that they can lay them to rest and have some kind of closure that way. And that's really hard. I had a case back east. I think it was one of my Michigan cases where I actually saw that she was buried. I know who did it. I told them who did it. And I saw that she was buried on a piece of property. And they kept saying, no, he's down here at this piece of property. And I'm going north. And they go, no, he's down here. And I go, she's buried. She's dead. She's buried north. And then they discovered he had another piece of property up north, right where I was, because I showed them the map. And I told them, I said, you're going to never get her. There'll never be a warrant to go in on that property, that her body's never going to be found. And that was really sad. But, I'm so no nonsense about all this stuff. I got to just say it what it is. And I'm just like, she's not going to be found. But he did it. And, he's a suspect. But, it's one of those things. People get away with it. They get away with doing that. It's so sad. So they're never really going to have that closure because they're not going to have the grave with the headstone on it. So it's kind of, that's a sad situation. But that was one where I just knew that they weren't going to, ever find her. And that's too bad. But nonetheless, life goes on, and part of what we do, and if you want to do it, Andy, I'll be happy to work with you, because totally need to go and through all the steps. Right. There's a lot of different ways you can look at things, but you want to try to do things as fast as you can and get the information to them. I only caution you to do them for the family members and or someone who can actually go looking for the person. You do a lot of work and everything, and then if there's no one, if that person was just like, well, I was reading the paper and I saw somebody lost and they want you to find them, you put that all out for nothing. There's nobody to go look for them. So it has to be somebody that can. And a lot of times people come to me and ask me to look at these cases, and they're just because they're curious. And it's like, no, you have to be, a family member. You need to be someone that can, go out and look for them. And because it's a lot of effort put into it. And then where does it go?
Right.
So I recommend that, but I think it's so wonderful. Unfortunately, we've got people that are fake psychics out there, right? And just kind of making up stuff to give to people and getting paid for it. And me, myself, and I'm never taking a penny for that. And then we have the people that are very, we have people in the business that have great hearts and everything, but maybe not, let's say, the talent, maybe not the gift to, maybe they're not always validated. So when I'm teaching psychic development, I'm teaching readings and stuff to people, I'm like, I need to see that you're validated. I need your client to know that you need to give them specifics and they need to relate to it. If not, we've got to go on to something else. Try some other kind of divination or whatever. Because if anything, to be recognized as being genuine and helpful and all of that and serious, we have to be able to give validation to people. And that means we have to be able to give names, facts, and all of that to them. And here we are trying to undo this stuff for all these other people that are scamming people and telling them all kind of fantasy stories when they're doing readings. So that's what I really love about you, Andy. We totally make sure that we're accountable when we do our readings.
Right. Yep.
So what else are you doing? Are you doing readings or any event?
I got a reading today on Fiverr on my new updated gig, which, I've updated my pricing and decided to do YouTube video only readings on Fiverr. So,
only, okay.
Yeah, no more. In the past, I used to type them up, and I was like, it just takes so much time. And you're like, Andy, do audio, do audio, do audio. I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I've been doing audio, but now I like to actually, I like to show like the whole reading while I'm doing it. I just feel like then they get to be a part of it. And they can watch it and see that I'm not just randomly reading something off the internet. I don't know. I always feel like that I have to like prove it to them. It's something that
as time goes on, it'll be fine. For me, you're right in the thing that I have a camera that goes down. So I've got some readings that they can watch the cards, because some of it, the cards come up. And of course, as much as I say, I don't want to know anything. Cold reading. Don't tell me anything. All of a sudden they're saying I'm divorced and I'm whatever and I'm this and I'm pregnant and this all. And then you put down cards and you go, she's divorced, she's pregnant. And you're going, I can't validate that because she just told
right.
Me. And she, so having the camera look down there just, validates that you got it. You got all that information for them. So I understand that. I'm just started. I've just done 2 video readings and they're a lot of fun. They're very casual. You know me, I'm very casual. Like I have a cookie right here I could eat if I need and all of that. But yeah, I just started doing it. I wasn't sure about doing it. And I thought, well, gosh, it's so easy. So, but me, I still do audio tapes and I still do in-person and video now and phone readings. So whatever. I don't know. But I'm glad you're doing that. But I was surprised. I didn't know you just went straight and that's the only one you're going to do.
I should do audio still. I do like audio and I do like video. and I also like the phone reading.
Yeah.
In-person readings are just, it seems like they're getting to be more of a challenge because personally, I don't bring people into my own home in my space. I would be clearing after every reading if I did
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I don't get enough clients that way. Um, Most of them are comfortable in just going to their house, but I travel to them. And once I did a reading for somebody at a very casual bar, and people walk right up to you and they're like, "What are you doing? You're playing with the devil's work," and all of this stuff.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's not happening anymore. So
Yeah.
it's just, this is the way to do it now. It's so much easier.
Yeah. In person, what I really like about in person is that when I had these three girls coming over, because my friend couldn't do their reading, they wanted a message from their grandmother. And the day before, grandmother was in spirit, of course, in my living room. And first was a floating ring, in midair. I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. And then a big spark came. So I go, oh, grandma's ring. Uh, there was an issue with grandma's ring. I knew that right away. Then she walked in all like a model. She loved her clothing, all in 1950s clothing, holding a dog, and just beautiful, just looking great. So when they came the next day, it came out that she loved her clothes and she loved the way she looked in 1950, because that's what I said. But the first thing when they sat down, these three girls, I said, so there was an issue with grandma's diamond ring, wasn't there? Yes, there was.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was funny because the middle girl, that was oldest one, she was looking at the other ones, and I thought, yeah, I know, because you're the one who got the ring. but so the psychic phenomena stuff happens when they come to my house, and the ghosts will walk in and stuff like that. Harder for me when I don't do really mediumship readings. No one's really asked, except for like one time I was doing a phone reading. No one's really asked for me to bring in a spirit or anything like that. So I did bring in a spirit, but mostly it's always, when people come in for a seance or they come in for an in-person reading, and then in comes the spirit and I can tell them exactly what they look like. So that's always really, really cool. I love it. So, we all get things differently too. Not everybody sees spirits, and and some people hear the stuff, some, on and on and on. So it's interesting how we get it. So, and you have to go with your comfort. I mean, I know about my own family is the one who will come and tell me that I'm, dabbling in stuff that just recently happened to me. And, I, and it was funny because the thing that they told me is that they were Christians. And I'm like the biggest Christian out there. I love God. I love Jesus. I work with the angels. And one of the things they said was I go out to do things in the cemetery. And I go, you know what? There's two things there, Jackie. I think you can understand this. One is I have an entertainment company. I take people out for ghost tours. We play, what is it? We have, what do you call it when you go play a game? Scavenger hunt. And so I mapped out a whole cemetery where people have to go find the things on the gravestones, and I give prizes out. Or we go and we just talk to spirits out there and give them an entertaining night out. And the other thing I do is I go there and I sense grief, and I am an ordained minister. So I have my holy water, and I have my anointing oil, and I go and I anoint the graves and I clear the energy. And to me, I go, this is out of love. This is out of remembering that person there and saying their name and saying and doing a blessing on their grave. And so that kind of smarted a little bit that I had somebody in the family do that to me. But, you know, it is what it is. And I get once in a while nasty gram from somebody that says, you know, you don't know what you're doing. And it's kind of funny because in a lot of in the Christians and Catholic and everything, they have priests that go and do exorcisms and face demons and the devil and everything. And it's in history. That's why we have Saint Benedict. And I go, why would they think that there's nobody supporting the good on this side in 2018? You know?
Right.
Of course, there's people here that are going to defend what's right and to be loving to the dead. And I really feel this, Andy. I really wonder if they really believe there's demons. And you want to kind of say, can you like look at your literature? They're real people. All of this stuff is real. And you should be thankful that there's people out there that are blessing the graves and watching out, making sure that lost souls are found and go to heaven. And that's what I do. And that's what my group does. And so it's hard when that happens, but very awkward if you're out in public to have somebody come and challenge that, especially when you have a client in front of you. So I will never, ever do that. You know, that just, it's too dangerous to do that. People, you never know what people are going to do on impulse. So sorry that happened to you. Are you there, Andy?
Oh, me?
That I was talking to you. That's okay. What were we going to say, Jackie?
I was just going to say, you know, it's funny to think how people get, it's like they believe one thing, but then they can't believe another. But it's okay to read it in the Bible one way and then tell you you're wrong. But it's like, are you sure? Are you sure you read the whole thing?
Right.
There's so much more than what you're discussing with me.
Right.
Or cherry picking, you know.
Yes.
Especially with angels. Like I work with people that see angels. And a couple of the people actually were like me, experienced a near-death experience and episode, and they lost a lot of blood. And they came close to death, and they saw, like, one person saw like Archangel Michael with the big sword and all this stuff, but they come back and they actually see angels, and like people tend to not believe them. And like, well, people used to see angels. I know they saw angels. I'm sure it's in the Bible that people saw angels. So why wouldn't we see angels now? Or they don't, you know what? They don't believe in miracles anymore. Miracles from God. I think some people do, but I totally believe this for everything. I know there's miracles. I know that people can be spontaneously healed. When I do healing, it's for a cure. You know, don't take pain away, take it all away. And so if they can't believe that faith healers work or any of that stuff, how about Reiki? You know, any of these good healing modalities, and yet they're like, oh yeah, no. And like, Jesus healed. Isn't there a promise from Jesus that we can heal greater than he did? There are probably people out there going, no, she's wrong. But I feel like we need to, we have to live with that stuff. It's just a stigma about what we do. And we know what we're doing is right, and it's okay with God. And so I know that the gifts, it wasn't at 2 Corinthians that had that God will bestow gifts, and that's of divination and discernment of spirits and all of that. My girlfriend has the gift of discernment of spirits, and people go, what is that? That's when you can see a demon, people. That's when you know that they're spirits. You can see them. And so she can see them. And so the fact is, you know, they should be more open-minded. But we can't go and put ourselves in any peril, Andy, and do them at Subway.
Right. Right, or the bar.
Carts and Subway.
Yeah.
Though I went in a bank and I started doing it like Teresa Caputo.
Right.
I said, don't do it. You're not you're freaking Teresa Caputo. And that's what I, told the lady that I was psychic and there was a lady there. And, I see floating numbers. So when I saw the number, I said, this is how the year, how old she was when she died. And she yelled, she said, that's my mother. She died at, when she was that age. And I don't think I'll do that again. We'll leave that to Teresa. It could have went really south. It was like, why is she watching me? Okay, I shouldn't have done this. I said, because she loves you. How can I get out of this? Yeah, that was very concerning for sure. So anyway, so mainly I have a great event on Saturday. Jackie, it's our family, that Native American part. I know I look Native American, but I am, you guys. I am. I'm Jackie Indian proud. So we're going to have a cleaning of the gravesite on Saturday up in East County. And so down and east. We're going to be cleaning they for 100+ years they've cleaned that cemetery up where our ancestors are. So this is the first year that I'm going, and I don't think anybody's going to find out, but I do have a surprise for the family. I don't think anybody's going to watch this that's going to surprise between now and Saturday. So I'll tell you. So I inherited a lot of artifacts from the Yaqui side of the family. So we are Indians from Sonora, Mexico, and we're Yaqui. And some are carved shells. And so I gave away some of the artifacts, and I kept this shell that tends to be, everyone knows about in the tribe now, and it's a very, very special thing. And it's a lot of responsibility to take care of that, and they want it carbon dated and all this. And I've decided that I've selected someone within the tribe that's proven himself to be a great caretaker for this artifact. And in the ceremony, we're going to surprise the tribe at the end, at the closing ceremony, after we're saged and all that. And I'm going to pass it on to him and say some really great words to honor him for doing this. And he needs to pledge that he'll take care of it. And so that'll go on to be used in tribal and Indian ceremonies, which I'm not officially a part of a organization, a tribe, and all of that, because my family hasn't been recognized yet. And so I want to pass it on to someone who will attend all the ceremonies and everything and be able to carry it with him. So I'm excited to do that, and I'm excited to go in and help clean the graves. So I'm so used to doing that. And I think it's going to be a really moving thing in my life, as a memory that I'll always cherish with me, and know that that shell gets to the right person, and will be taken care of for 1,000 years. How's that? More than 1,000 years.
That's amazing. I'm excited for you.
I know. It's really neat. It's really, really neat. It just kind of all fell together. Not that I feel like I'm really old and I'm going to go, but the fact is that someone active in all the Indian organizations, it'd be wonderful that he carries it and it's involved in and treasured and taken care of. So I'm really glad I can do that, and really excited to be involved. So that's happening Saturday, and we're going to have a show though Friday, guys, right? So our special guest couldn't make it, and so that's life, guys. It's the way it goes. We will have her on again because she's got great stories about strange things that have happened in cemeteries and in the places that she investigates. And I've been on some investigations with her. And so, but Friday we have Daphne, and she's going to come. She has been regressed by a hypnotherapist for a past life, and it's very exciting and riveting, and the details she has. So she's going to come on live and tell us about that story. Do you guys know any of your past lives?
I don't think I've experienced anything.
Nobody's told you?
No, I don't. I've never had anybody tell me, and I don't think I've really ever asked. But
you have an aunt that does that.
I know you do, but I try not to bother you. I know you're busy.
Yeah, not for a couple weeks. Do you ever feel like you've lived in Egypt or anything like that?
I haven't, but it's kind of weird because I'm slightly obsessed with Egypt. Just a little bit.
Don't you think it's kind of funny that people say, like, they all go, if they're going to be from Egypt, it has to be that they were like King Tut or Cleopatra or yours?
No, because there was way more people than just those two living there.
I know, but people want to be kings and queens and emperors and stuff.
Well, what if something tragic happened to me and it like brought me back into the world again to live differently, to like learn not to do that mistake again? You know what I mean? It would be interesting to know, because I feel like, you know, you live one life and you go through it and you make your mistakes and you learn, and it's like I feel like that wisdom goes with you when you go into your next life that you're going to go into, whether you're male, female, you know, whatever you are. And I think that's what I find more interesting about it, is just to kind of see.
Well, what goes with it too, and this is where I come in, I see the death. And the first time I did this and I saw how the person died, I just looked away. And it's funny, like, it's not like my eyes looked away. I looked away, you know, somehow. And spiritually, whoa, I don't want to know that, because it was a little girl. And then everybody said, you know, this might help someone. You know how they say they take on illnesses and stuff from past life. And so I said, yes, I see how you died. And because I see, and she yelled out, I was going to say muddy feet, because I saw her dying in a flood. And she goes, I died in a flood, didn't I? And it was another medium I was doing. I said, yes, you did. I had little muddy feet, and it was just so sad. But that's when I go, they said, no, you need to tell people how they died so that they, you know, it may help them in this lifetime. But then when I did this, I did two people at once. I grabbed two people's hands at once and I did it. And I went over, and the guy had been run over from diagonally and I just took my hand and went from here to over here. You were run over by a wooden wheel with a metal band on it, and it killed you. And so when we were all done and I told everybody how they died in their life and everything, they looked at each other, and she's like, you need to tell them. And he said, a week ago, red mark came onto my body over here, just like you said, diagonal over my abdomen and up the other side. It just came up, and it didn't do anything. It wasn't a rash. It didn't itch or didn't anything, but it came up and it stayed a big mark across there. And I said, okay, well, they're just validating that what you experienced today actually was real and was your past life. That was the first time that something like that happened. Usually I tell someone about their past life, and then they tell me, oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with what you told me I did for a living. I'm obsessed with that, or that hobby in my past. I'm obsessed with that in this lifetime. And so there was that connection, but it was the first time that physical manifestation of a mark or anything came up. That was weird.
Wow.
That was really weird. Andy, did you live before? Who were you?
You know, it's funny. Years ago when I worked at a retail store, I was never really in. I mean, I've always had a passion for the paranormal and stuff like that, but not where I'm at now. And this would have been like 18 years ago. And one gal told me that I can tell you who you were in a past life. I said, really? Because I feel like I was like a Catholic priest or something, or some kind of a missionary person, a religious person. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting that too. And I have this birthmark on my, I don't know, it's probably like that big on my left side of my stomach or my belly, which I'm not showing anybody.
Thank you. This is a family show.
Right? And I think I was either poked or stabbed in the abdomen and either burned. It sounds so grim, but I truly feel this. Now, I never had it like truly validated, but she wasn't experienced. But I've always held on to that belief, like who I was at that time, I was persecuted for. And I kind of do carry that over in this lifetime, but not in such a horrible way. You know how we are, me being a gay male and then also into the metaphysical. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know what the word is. It's kind of just one of those things where it's not fully accepted. So like I'm involved in a family that's not, I mean, they accept me now, but it was never really truly accepted at face value, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a lesson that we often learn from our past. And then also the Egypt thing. I did a past life reading in a spirit circle. So during a seance, sometimes I'll get the deceased people, but then also I've gotten through mediumship the past life. And I described one of my classmates. He was really bald and he was like the guy with the chariot, and I can still see it now. And I think he had a love and he was saving his money, and he was he was a guy that handled the chariots, and he was next to a wall where it had hieroglyphs. So he was saving his money to marry this girl. And like the thoughts and the feelings, it just felt so real to me. And I don't think he was like really important status, but it's just amazing how, you know, you can't like just make this stuff up right off. I can't, you know. But the hardest thing is validating it.
That's where I feel like,
know,
I go looking around the person and I'll see, oh, but actually the person will show me they panned for gold, or they liked rocks, or the little girl liked your socks. And that went through to the grown up person in front of me, loves socks and has them for everything, and on and on. And then the other person collects rocks and crystals and crazy about them. So luckily there's that kind of validation in there. But, it doesn't always, I think for me, I needed that, because I'm like, if I can't validate this, then I'm not going to do it. I mean, that's the way I always am. And so I feel like for me, I'm always looking and digging, show me what connection is, so that they know I really have them. I'm really doing their past life. For me, I had a man come in to my work and said he does past lives. This is a long time ago. And he says, do you want one? Because nobody was around. I'm like, okay. So he took my hand and he said I was from Japan and there was Mount Fuji. And he told me what I look like and everything. And he says, let me just go through. Oh, it's very wealthy. So I go, okay, yay. And then he goes, well, let me go through your life and see what lesson you learned, because we should all learn a lesson, right? If we have to come down here, get a lesson out of the way, check it off. And he goes, none. I, what? What? He said, yeah, no, you lived a long life and you were rich and people took care of you and nothing. And I said, no, no, I didn't learn anything. He said, no, I didn't see that you came here. Like I had no life purpose but to indulge. So that was kind of strange. But let me tell you, I've never really thought about a past life for me. I mean, it doesn't come into my mind like who was I or anything like that, except for I can once in a while I go like this because I hear a gunshot and there's no gunshot, guys. And I go, oh, I know that I was shot. I've always get that, and I just cringe because I could hear the sound of the shot, and I know I got shot. And that happens to me maybe once a year or something. Maybe it's the anniversary. I should mark it on the calendar.
Write it down every year.
Yeah, but I do feel like one time getting hit in the head and getting shot, and that's as far as I go with it. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. I do have an affinity for the 1940s. I just love the fashion. And I will watch a movie and not listen to the movie, and I'm looking at the clothes. And I'm not a clothes person, or anything like that. But there's just something about that time period. But I don't ever want to live in the past. I'm one of those people like I want to go, if I'm going to go anywhere, it's with the Jetsons. So, yeah, I've never really thought about it. If somebody ever wanted to do a past life, I'd listen to it. But, I don't know. I don't think I would identify with anything. Unless they say you got shot. Then I'm like, okay, there you go. Maybe we got something here. So guess what time it is?
Is it time for...
Can you believe it? Margaritas.
I'm like, well, it's late where I'm at. Might not be margarita time in my time zone, but
oh, that's right. We're all in different places here, aren't we? I have a contest going on. Did you guys know that? Nobody's like 3 people put in for my pop-up contest.
Wait, your costume contest, right? For vampire.
Yeah, dress me up for this Halloween. Find me a costume and post it.
I haven't found one I want to post.
It can be an accessory.
Can it be anything, Debbie?
Yes, I've got somebody that has me in this plunging neckline. And I'm like, yeah, no. I really like Cheryl's. That's like a favorite of mine there that I saw. Somebody did do this scary looking chick in this dark outfit. And I was like, that's really cool, but that's kind of scary. I don't know where I get that. Like I'm saying like, but whatever the look is that I like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send them what am I sending them? A lovely cup of Starbucks coffee.
A lovely cup of Starbucks.
Or a McDonald's shake. Or 2 tacos. You can never say no to tacos.
That's true.
I'll figure out, I'll figure out in the morning and I will post it and I will send them a gift card for that. But I'm really bummed. I was like, come on. I do, the games once in a while. I love the games that have the what are the GIF? Is that gift?
Some people call them gifts. Some people call them GIFs. It's all debating the way you want to use them. I call them GIFs because that's what I got told they're called.
Oh, okay. The GIFs.
Yeah.
I love doing that where they have to go and they have to type something in and it comes up. Those are the funniest things ever. They are so funny. And last time I did that, I had so many people participating. And then this one, I got 3. I'm like, it's serious? I got 3 people. You know what? I join all the contests. And, I know it's not a big deal getting a little gift card, but I do it. I put in for all that stuff. I could be a poster if I'm there.
Debbie, I'd love to see you with, okay, so you get your costume. Let's say it's like Elvira or something. Or maybe
Oh,
The
God.
vampire.
No, Elvira. Come on.
Okay.
This is an old lady. I've got to say, though, the best part of the body when you get older is there. I don't know. The skin doesn't wrinkle up so much. Okay.
I think those contact lenses where it turns your eyes like albino or like cat eyes that you can get. I want to get a pair of those because they're just creepy.
They have like red ones too for people that are like vampires because like in the novels and books.
I want the teeth.
You want the fangs?
Oh yeah, you can buy them. Listen, Andy, don't let me forget. You'll have to take the note on this one because I don't know what I do with my notes. But I knew a man that I think Kat was in the Guinness Book of World Records. The guy who redid his body into a tiger.
Yes,
he was my brother-in-law's best friend.
Oh,
I knew him for years. I went down to Old Town when he was filming with I think it was Ripley's that they were filming down there, and tragically he passed away. He committed suicide.
Oh
yeah, I read that.
Yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose to say why. I know why, but he had an infinity like his totem was the tiger. And so not only the teeth, he had implanted whiskers and tattoo, of course, and he wore the contacts, and he had the whiskers coming out up here. He had fake cheekbones. He was tattooed everywhere. I think even his scalp had tattoos. And oh my God, I'm just trying to remember all the things he had done. It was just incredible. And as he made money, he would go down and have things done. And he transformed his body a lot. And but he was a very depressed man. And it was really sad when he pulled away from friends and everything, and then ended up moving away. So, but nonetheless, there was blurring the lines in between being a human and being a tiger. And it was all about spirituality. It wasn't like it was, I'm not going to be a real tiger, more like I'm going to be a fierce spiritual tiger. So he was a sweet soul and very calm and quiet man. And so he got invited all over the world, though. I can't remember where. It was like Japan or an Asian country that just opened their arms up to him. They just thought it was great, but he had a lot of, people that were not happy with him either, thinking, this was not the thing to do. But he was incredible, and he went through a lot of pain, and getting that transformation of his body. But we should post a picture of him, and I don't have a problem in asking for him to come forward, since I knew him really good, and give us a message that night. Maybe next week.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I get messages from all kinds of people, so let's get a message from Kat. And maybe next week on Wednesday or even Friday, I'll contact him on live, you guys, live, and I'll bring him through. Okay, we'll do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would find it really interesting too. To hear what he has to say. Or, if there's anything important he wants to tell us.
Oh, right. And you guys, our audience, on Friday, we do readings for our fans. So please see us then. We'll have a little description saying, please post your question there. And we'll do as many readings as we can, but we do have a guest coming on. So the first half, I think we'll be talking about past lives. and hearing her story, her incredible story. And then we will take viewer questions. We didn't get the questions today, but we'll just kind of take that over until Friday. And then we'll go ahead and do some readings for you guys. And then we'll be always having our Friday giveaway. So is it time to go, you guys?
I'll say it's almost 11 o'clock my time.
Oh, we appreciate you, Jackie.
No, you're fine. You guys already know how much I love joining you guys and having the conversations and just hearing all the different things. Now I'm like, what happened in my past life? Have I felt anything?
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it in a few weeks. I'll do your past life for you. We'll see if you connect to that. And sometimes when I go to do a past life, it's funny because, you know, I see movies and pictures and everything. Mm-hmm. And so you will walk in whatever you're, used to wear, you'll walk in front of me and then I'll know. Then I'll be able to look around you and tell you a little bit about it. When I did this one guy, I met the whole family. It was like incredible. I saw the child and then all of a sudden color came and everything was moving. It wasn't a still photography where I see that once in a while. And it was in color, it was colorful. And I told them the country. And then I met mom and the siblings and the dad. But then right as that came and I could see what they sold and how they made their money, bam, there he was dying. And I saw how he died. And I was like, whoa, that was, startling. It's not like it's always smooth when you have mediumship. Probably Andy can tell you that. When things come in, they can, be startling to us. We could see something that looks normal and then bam, you see their burned face, mm-hmm. Things like that. And, but, we're pretty strong people, aren't we, Andy? And we can, that's the good thing. I think God picked out the people that aren't afraid and want to help and, don't have difficulty. I don't have a difficulty seeing this stuff or saying what I have to say. I don't get emotional. So that is such a blessing that I can do that and handle when I do missing people. And, of course, I've been part of gruesome facts and gruesome scenes. And so I don't have a problem with that. And I think that's because I wanted to grow up to be a parasitologist and study all the parasites in bodies. So then I went on to study viruses. So I don't have a problem with that. So as long as we can kind of stomach that stuff, we can do it. So I guess this is time to say goodbye. And I'll go look and see if anybody posted any costumes. And we will get this uploaded to the website, or not the website, but the fan page. So
everybody can watch it.
Yeah, in case they missed it. Thank you, everybody, for watching us at our first YouTube show. And we will be back next Wednesday. And for sure, please go to Facebook and look up Psychic Fixes. And we will be going live on the fan page, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Friday. So hope to see you then. All right, you guys. We can do this. We can this, and do this. Blow the kiss. All right. Thank you, Andy.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you, guys.
Jackie.
Bye.
Bye, Jackie. Bye, Debbie.
Bye. Bye.